Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Acoustic Cafe radio show pre-show, when we are on video and audio, and you can see us as well as hear us, which is always fun. Tonight, I'm very thrilled that we have two artists joining us. We've got the lovely Judie Tzuke. And we've got Sue Harding. So we'll be firing questions at both of you, but welcome and thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to start by asking Judie about this the new album. Tell us all about that and how it's come about.
Well, I've made a lot of albums. I tend to keep making them all the time, but this one is a bit more special to me, I think, because it's about the last 10 years. All the songs have sort of come from that period, and I've had a bit of a difficult 10 years, actually. You know, I had cancer 10 years ago, and then through cancer, I lost my home because my bank pulled our mortgage. And once I got into my new home, which is where I am now, I got COVID, but the very bad one right at the beginning, and really thought I was going to die for about 6 weeks every night, but I didn't. And when I came out the other side, I was quite happy to come out the other side, and the sun came out, and I realized I was sort of still okay, and I still had a voice, and I still wanted to make music. And I wrote the song with my friend Ben Mark Weaver called Jude the Unsinkable, which is about surviving, really, and coming out the other side and realizing that I was still here. And I tried to make most of the album, the songs have come from all the feelings that sort of went through the last 10 years, really. You know, like it's not all sad. There are sad, there are angry, there are a few even light-hearted ones, which is quite rare for me. And I just feel it's almost like a first album to me. It feels like, because it's over a certain period of time and I didn't have to rush it. And it says how I felt, especially the actual title track, Jude the Unsinkable, I think it will probably end up being one of my favorite songs of mine ever, because it managed to say how I was feeling in not too many words.
Yes, excellent title. Going through that. We're going to be playing a track from it a bit later on, Old Movies, which
that's the light-hearted one, which it is not miserable, not angry, just kind of nice. I like it.
Good. Well, we're going to be playing that a bit later on in the radio show, but tell us about you're touring as well, aren't you? So
I've got a tour in October, November, but I've also been doing a few gigs just lately. I was on tour just before December with Beverly Craven, and we did this sort of strings attached acoustic gig, which was a really lovely thing. But now I'm back to doing me with my daughter. She has a project called Tiggy, which is Thoughts I Give You. It was the name of my daughter's my sister's diary. My sister died when she was 18, and I kept the diary and I gave it to my daughter, and she decided to call her project Thoughts I Give You, which is Tiggy. So she will be opening for me on all the shows, and then she comes on stage and sings backing vocals for me.
Wow. Oh, that'd be great.
We've done it, we just did 2 last weekend. I think I lose track of what days what, but we did 2 down in Devon and Cornwall, and it was lovely, really nice, lovely audiences and lots of people. And because I always get scared that no one's going to come. But they did. So that was a relief. So I've got a whole tour coming up. Some of them are already sold out, apparently, which makes me feel so much better. So, yes, hopefully we'll see people at all the shows.
Well, you're going to be, I was looking earlier, I see that you're going to be appearing shortly at a venue which is very dear to our hearts, the Sound Lounge in Sutton.
Yes. Well, I am a patron of the Sound Lounge, and I'm trying to sort of help, those kind of venues, because they're so necessary for artists to be able to do things other than sort of Wembley or the O2, or, there are lots of people that want to go to smaller places and see music live, and I love the Sound Lounge, and that sold out too. Yay!
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think they get a very, very good response now. When they came close to closure, and now people have realised we've got to go to places.
Yeah, we know Hannah White quite well. That runs it, and they've had so much bad luck with their venues and having to move on and things like that, but they keep bouncing back, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well, it is definitely one of those things. It's like you don't know what you lost until you don't know what is lost until it's gone. That was the general.
Until it's gone.
Yeah, and I think people
always
really
seem to
get
go.
find it. Yeah, exactly, and they make parking lots. But I think people really who love music need to remember to support it, because I think we all sit there and go, "Oh, I love music. I listen to music all the time." And then I was doing an interview the other day, and someone said to me, "What do you listen to at the moment?" And I thought, actually, I haven't been listening that much. I've been sort of practicing my own stuff, and so I got back on trying to find interesting new artists and different things, because I love music.
And what can people expect when they come to see you, Judie? Would it be mostly your new stuff, or are you going to be doing some back catalogue stuff?
I do probably mostly I do a few songs from the first album, because everybody always wants me to, so I do that. And then I do various ones from all through my career. Sometimes we change the set and do different ones on different nights, but and then I'm doing about 3 or 4 from the new album.
Oh, great. I was priding myself. I was being very smug earlier today and saying to my partner, well, I've got all of Judie Tzuke's albums, actually. And then I just happened to look at your page and realise that you've done about 28 albums. So I know I do not have...
You mean... No, I've got. I think it's 20. I think I don't really know. I think it's about 22 studio albums, but there are other various things. But so, how many have you got?
Oh, I don't know. About 12, I think. So
that's okay.
I've got a bit. Thanks. I've got a bit of catching up to do. But you'll be. I mean, I shouldn't be here tonight. I only came to see you because I get bored with this lot. What I had to tell you was I've got a lot of music, because I've been singing since I was about 15, I suppose. And I've got a songbook which in it has got handwritten the words to Molly.
Oh.
What's it? Hell or Waters High? I forgot what it's called.
Come Hell or Waters High, yes.
Yeah, that one. And about 5 other songs of yours. But I could never quite sing as high as you did.
Well, I can't anymore either, so I'm sure we
that
do
was my
fine.
next question. Yeah, has it? Because I know with me, my voice has dropped as well, but I imagine that your voice is a little.
The COVID thing did really affect my voice, and since then it's a drop to. I can do some of the high stuff, but not all of it, and I do tend to put them all down a little bit. And I actually think I prefer my voice now than when I was younger, so I don't mind it being lower. I like my voice sounding quite low.
Well, I should look forward to the new album and listening to it.
Should we be covering them?
I'll be doing them all.
Right, we're going to have questions in a moment, but Sue, can you bring us up to date with what's happening with you?
What am I doing? I've got a clutch of gigs coming up, so I'm really looking forward to that. That's between now and the middle of April. So I tend to do my gigs in little clusters. So I'm coming down to your way tomorrow. I'm playing in D3W3. It just sounds something you grease your bike with, but it's actually day 3. It's at the rugby club in Alton. They were so lovely. I played there before, and they're such a lovely lot. I'm so looking forward to it. So that's tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll buy you a pint.
You're dropping out, I'm afraid. Can you repeat what you said?
I'm glad you didn't hear that. I said I'll buy you a pint.
Oh yeah. Lovely to see you tomorrow. And after that I've got a few more. I'm sort of there's only one I've got to put bums on seats. That's the one in my hometown in Frome, which I'm playing with Gabriel Moreno. who I've had a lot of. Yeah, I've really enjoyed. We've done quite a lot of stuff together where he's come and we played a couple of gigs together, couple of headlines and all of that. So that's been great. That's been a good thing this last year. And yeah, still don't know how. Like Judie was saying, she's just come through time. I lost both my parents this last 18 months, and so I'm just coming back from that now, and I, just picking myself up and getting back on it and doing stuff. So I'm feeling fairly lively and up for it.
Right, well, we're going to go around for questions now. I'm going to start with Lainey. Lainey, you got questions for our guest tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Judie first, and I was going to talk about the maturity in music, and then you floored me with your story and about losing your home and everything, which is just like absolutely hideous. But I was thinking about when you've had a hit like you did, and everybody knows it, and then everyone goes back to it time and time again. What I think is really sad is they miss sometimes where your music's matured, and particularly like your Woman to Woman album that you did with Beverly Craven and there's songs on there that I to me like a far superior, even though I loved your song because it was part of my soundtrack of my youth. So it's always in my head. But how does that feel when do you struggle against it? Are there pros and cons about that time and what you wanted to achieve after that time?
I actually write songs mainly because I have to, because I'm quite an emotional person. And for me, it's like a emotional exercise. If I don't say the things I want to say and get them into something like a song, then they're stuck inside me. And my plan when I was younger was never to be famous. I never thought about going on stage. I never actually really liked going on stage because I'm not somebody who likes to be the center of attention. I would have loved to have sort of stood off the side of the stage and just sung my songs. I love singing. But the main thing for me, I think, has always been the writing. So even though I probably should have been more upset that I wasn't as successful after Stay With Me Till Dawn, that wasn't kind of what I was trying to achieve. I just wanted to make music that when I first came to music, I heard, it sounds funny, but I was at a party and I was a very sort of miserable teenager, and I heard this voice in the other room. It was actually a Jackson Browne song, but it just had a little section where he sings on his own. And I just was connected to it. And I went and listened to his album, and all of his songs sounded like they were things I was going through. And it suddenly made me realize, God, I'm not the only person. I'm not the only one. So I've always hoped that my music, my ambition has been to make music that other people can listen to and think, I've felt like that. I've been there, because I think it can make people feel better. It certainly made me feel better. So sometimes, to answer your questions, I'm very lucky that I love Stay With Me Till Dawn, and I will sing it at every show I ever do, because I feel like that's what people really want. And I did it, the show I did the other night, I know most of the audience didn't know 3/4 of the set, but they still listened, and they were willing to listen. And I think hopefully some of them will go home and sort of listen to them again or think I can relate to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
On. For me, music is so much part of my life that it's frustrating sometimes that more people don't hear all my newer songs, but it's not the end of the world, because the best thing about them is that I wrote them and I got them out my system and I love them.
Great answer, really.
It was a long-winded one, sorry.
But what a great answer, that it's actually for you and to get it out of you. And I guess going over to Sue then, in terms of, and I saw on your webpage, I think, like the reviews that you get, and I just wonder the same sort of thing is like, how important are those reviews to you? Do you crave them? Do you need them? Do you use them? Do you hate them? How does that influence what you do? You didn't hear me, did you?
Hang on. Did you? I heard the question. I thought you were asking Judie.
Oh, no, it was your question too.
Oh, right. Okay. No, I can answer that. It's very interesting, isn't it? Outside validation when you are doing something creative. A lot of the time you're at home thinking, what am I doing? I do, like Judie, I write because I write. That's it. I do it anyway, whether anybody listened or not, but it's lovely when people do. And I always felt that having the reviews and is like playing the game. You have to a certain extent, if you want gigs, if you want to get out there and connect with people, you have to do the stuff. I'm an independent artist, so it's really helpful to put those reviews out, and people, because they won't have heard of me like they heard of Judie, they need to know what they're getting. And yeah, it helps me to establish myself with people who never heard me before. But the really doesn't matter.
Sorry.
No, it's live.
That's not me.
Live, guys.
No, it's me. It's all going to kick off now.
It's all right. As long as it's not me, I don't mind.
That's all right.
I forget how to turn it on or off when it does it when I'm not expecting it. It's all right.
That's right.
Drop it in a bottle of water. Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about reviews and outside validation and people liking what you do and don't do. I just feel it's like partly it's playing the game.
Yeah.
You're expected to do that, and so you do. And it's very nice when they say nice things, but again, it's not why you do it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think you both got a really deep reason for doing it, and that's more important to you, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And there are times when you're asked to play for things that are really meaningful for people, and I think that's far more powerful.
Is that the same for you, Lynn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm very much like Judie in that everything I sing comes from the heart. So, I'm not very good at writing songs about other people. I don't particularly like reviews. I have seen a few, and they've all been quite nice, but I'm always frightened to read them.
Back in the day.
Sorry?
Back in the day when I was sort of successful, as they said, I got terrible reviews all the time, horrible reviews.
Yeah.
And they upset me so much that I just thought, I'm not going to listen to them. Because if you let them upset you when they're rubbish and horrible, then you can't take the good ones, because none of it means anything really. It's just people trying to show off with what they can say and be. I think it's much better now. People review things much better. But when I first started, I got reviewed for not being very tall or being a bit or having big teeth. One of them said she'd look better in a horse box. So
don't do that anymore, do they? They know better.
No, well, I hope so. They're not as bad as they were, definitely. They still do sometimes. Not say that, but, I've seen reviews of other people, and I just think it's not about the music. It's just about them showing off and wanting to, want to talk about them.
There must be something in it over a period of time when you've been involved with music for a long period. Yeah. The fact that you've got people that follow your music and have done for many years. I mean, that in itself must tell you something about what you're doing.
I've got amazing people. I've got amazing fan base. They're not huge, but they come everywhere and they're like friends. And I feel so lucky because I know quite a few artists that have, they can have a big hit single like now, and then next year nobody bothers to go and see them, even though they're really good. Some of them are really good. It's just like, but my people come everywhere, and I'd like to reach more people as well, but I think I'm so lucky to have the people I've got. So,
I'll come.
There you go.
We'll organise a coach trip.
Well, Gowan's been sitting there very quiet. Gowan, have you got a question for our guest tonight?
Yes, question for both Judie and Sue. You've both been writing songs for a little while. Does it get
a long while?
A long while, yes.
I was trying to be tactful for once in my life, but anyway, does songwriting become easier or more of a challenge as time goes on?
Do you want to answer, Sue, first?
I'm loads better at it than I was. I'm trying to embrace my crone status. I'm older, and I think it's important. And I write from somewhere that's about my life now, and is that it's not very commercial, but I think that I'm better at it than I was when I was younger. I mean, the stuff I wrote when I was younger isn't horrid or anything, but I think it's much more interesting, and I've developed the skills over the years. I'm a bit of a slow learner,
Well, I don't think I've ever learnt, and every song I write, I always think, oh my God, that's a bit of a fluke. You know, I hope I can do it again. And I write with lots of young artists as well, because, you know, probably about 15 years ago, I wrote an album with a friend of mine and really enjoyed working for another singer, so that I wasn't singing it. We were just writing for her album. I don't know if you know Lucy Silvers, if you remember, she's brilliant. She went to Nashville though. She lives in Nashville now. But I then started writing with lots of different young artists and found it really quite inspiring, but also really quite terrifying, because I'm not someone who can write a song about something I don't feel myself. So I had the opportunity to meet all these fantastic younger people in general, because that's who my publishers sent me, and to get to know them so well that we could find something that we both connected on. But it always feels a bit like every song I write, I don't know if I can ever do it again. I must have a skill, but I don't know that I've got that in it. It just sort of, you know, I turn up in these places with these people that I have to get to know in a way that I would never in any other career, I guess, be able to get to know them like that. And I learn loads. It's almost like being a therapist and talking to a therapist. But if we connect, then we can write something great. And if we don't, then it can be a bit of a...
Do you know, I've been asked to teach somebody songwriting, and I don't know what I'm going to teach. I've been a teacher of literature all my life, but the idea of actually teaching songwriting is terrifying, because I don't know what I do.
No, and I've been asked too, and I sort of feel like I could teach somebody everything I know in probably 2 hours, and that would be that. But, you know, I actually do go on songwriting things where I am a mentor. But again, I just have to go in the room and sit there and, you know, I'm Judie and I'm this, you know, I feel this, and how do you feel? And, you know, it's, and in those things, you're supposed to write a song in the daytime and then perform it for all the other songwriters in the evening.
Terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying. But
it takes me forever. I go back to things, you know, months later, years later.
Yeah.
Rehab, rework, think about it again. Fall in love with it. Judie, do you fall in love when you write? Do you fall in love with the current thing like it's your new baby? Because I do. And then you discard it and think, oh, no. Then if, you know, say you just fall madly in love with it. You think it's the best thing since sliced bread. Think it's the best thing you've done ever. And it lasts a few weeks and then it's gone.
Do you know what? I do, definitely. I know what you mean. I also fall in love with
not the only one then.
No, I also fall in love in a very totally appropriate way with the artists that I work with. But I have to say, I tend to not listen to myself very often. And this new album is the one I've listened to the most, because I don't know why, but it feels, I just like it. But I do go back to older songs, and I'm not embarrassed by many of my songs. I still kind of like them, but I know what you mean, definitely.
It's that process of creating something. And
I need that, don't you? I mean, I need to think it's magic. And when I'm writing a song, I'm thinking, this is just going to be the biggest thing ever. And it's just going to, everyone's going to do it. And everyone's going to love it. I do definitely get like that. And it's quite sad.
And then you play it to someone and they go, it's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's come in the studio now. Any questions from John?
Yeah, well, I've got one for Judie, I guess. I've been, I have to admit, I've been binge listening to your music and enjoying it, Judie. Thank you,
thank you.
For that. And but what I did notice is that I think, if I'm correct, quite a few of the albums are this woman-to-woman project.
There was only a couple.
Well, is there a story behind that collaboration, or?
Actually, in fact, there's only one there's a live woman-to-woman album, and then there's the studio one. Well, you know, we were doing this tour, and we all decided to make an album. And actually, there are some of my songs on there that are my songs. I didn't collaborate. I don't think. I'm trying to remember what was on them. I think we collaborated in singing wise, but we had our own songs, I think. Except for, I did Safe on the album, which Safe I wrote with Beth Nelson Chapman, and that was a totally separate thing. But when we were with the three girls, it just worked really well. So we did that for the Woman to Woman project. But all the other songs, I think, were pretty much done on our own. And I was lucky that the girls decided they wanted to do, a few of my songs.
How was it that you came together though to do that?
Oh, it was Beverly's idea, actually. I'd never done anything really with any other artists on stage, and she thought it was a good idea. We had the same agent, and she asked if I would be interested. In the beginning, I wasn't, and it wasn't anything to do with Beverly, because it was just I'd never done anything like that before. The only thing I'd wanted to do like that was something called the Lilith Fair, which was, I don't know if you remember, Sarah McLachlan. She used to do these big tours with all women. And I tried to get on that, and I wasn't famous enough, so that was quite upsetting. But Beverly said, look, we're all doing our acoustic gigs, which we all like doing. So, but if we three of us do it together, we can have a full band and we can do a proper sort of band gig, which seemed like a really good idea. And that's what we did. And it was amazingly successful. And I don't think any of us had any idea that it would be. But it really was, and it was lovely to see the audiences of all three of ours. We had a lot of crossover people that liked us all anyway, but I think it really made me realize how much songs mean to people. It's like especially Beverly's Promise Me, and and My Stay With Me Till Dawn, and Julia's Happy Ever After, and she had a few sort of songs. But you could see that the audience, we weren't just singing them songs, we were singing them their history. We were singing them times in their life when, they were really in love, or it was an amazing thing, I think, for us on stage as well as for them. And I think we all felt hugely emotional, the audience and us three.
Was there a big wrap-up party at the end of it then?
What, sorry?
Was there a big wrap-up party at the end of it? At the end of the tour?
We no, we didn't really do that. I don't know why. I think we were so emotionally drained by the end of the tours that we probably just, we still all talk and stuff. We did the last tour that we did with the Woman to Woman was with Rumour as well. I don't know if you know Rumour.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I was with Rumour yesterday, and Julia's in the Philippines, I think, doing gigs, and Beverly has actually sort of retired, apparently. We'll see. But, I mean, it was a learning curve. It was exciting, and but there was only one album. But I will tell you one thing, which is quite weird and quite funny, and I can't prove it, but there was a person there that took my song Humankind, which is on the Woman to Woman album, and apparently the Pope played it in a big talk that he did the other day about climate change. So that's kind of weird, isn't it? I was like, wow, the Pope.
Wow.
There's a claim to fame, that.
Yeah.
I only thought that because Humankind is on that album.
I said to Julian that the checks will be rolling in from the Vatican very soon.
I wish there was a way I could find out if it definitely happened, but apparently it did. So,
Post playlist.
yeah, it's something to do with the climate change, big talk, papal talk, or whatever. I don't know about these things, but I'd like if anyone was there that's listening, let me know. I'd like to know if it really did get played.
I found something very intriguing when I was looking at your list of albums today, and that's one called Christmas with the Zukettes.
The Christmas album. It's so sweet. Well, that was actually done when I had cancer and I wasn't well enough really to kind of do any gigs or anything. My daughter Bailey, she loves old films, and funny enough, you're going to play old movies as well, which is about the same sort of thing. And so she said, why don't we just make a Christmas album with all these old film songs? So that's what we did. And that's what that album is. I actually was quite ill when that was made, but it was such a lovely album to make. And we've never released it properly. We keep saying next year we'll get it ready, but you have to kind of get Christmas albums ready in July. And I never think to do it. because I'd like to put a couple of more tracks on there. But we did. Have you seen it? Did you see the album?
No, I haven't seen it.
We made it on CD that looks like an old record, and it's in gold. And we had a like snowy picture that we took. It's really sweet. Maybe we will get it out this Christmas properly.
Oh, do.
It's just all old Christmas songs, you know, like White Christmas. I do White Christmas, and I can't remember the other one. I do a couple more. Both my daughters sing some of them. Yeah, it's really sweet. I think it's a really sweet album, and of course, it's got quite a lot of memories because you know who knew if I was going to get past that? I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do it, you've got 5 months.
Well, we are already talking about it, so.
Time's running out. We're going to be showing a video of Sue in a short while.
Oh, lovely. When? Because I've got to go in a bit because
yes, I was going to say
I'm really big time here. I've got another interview in
you're welcome. You're welcome to
14 minutes.
Now. Yeah, you're welcome to leave us now. We're going to see the video.
I'd like to see Sue. I'd like to see Sue's video. When's that going on?
I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, we're going to put it on there.
Okay, I'll go and have a look on YouTube. But is there one that you would say is the one to listen to if I've got...
It's a bit of a mishmash on YouTube. You put it up there, and then they decide which one to push forward. So there's an awful mess on there. But yeah,
I'll go and listen anyway. But I will. I'll listen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judie. Thanks for joining us. It's been really
Thank you so much.
And if you remember, give our love to Hannah when you see her next week at least.
Oh, well, Hannah at the Sound Lounge.
Yeah.
Yes, I will, definitely. Thank you all so much and have a lovely evening.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Judie.
I don't have to turn it off now.
Right,
Oh, a lovely lady.
Very nice.
I know that is. Mouse. Bone.
Well done. So,
Thank you, darling. Do you know, that was playing in Glastonbury Church. That was a couple of days after a week or so after my mum died, actually. So that was a kind of quite a special gig for me. My friend Azhar playing along there.
well, let's quickly go over to Gowan now. Gowan, the new releases.
Right, okay, quick run through, starting off with a world exclusive, shall we say. Amy Goddard has a new song called Connection, and this one is very close to home. Some of you may know that I had something of an incident last autumn at home, which involved someone in America trying to dial 999. He talked to people in this country. And anyway, they managed to find out my address. They called 999. The fire station came along as well to help get entry to my flat. And I went off to hospital for 8 weeks, for 8 days. It was all quite nasty, but they fixed me. And Amy Goddard, and I'm chuffed to put it mildly, has written a song about it. About people connecting around the world and saving my life. It's a lovely song. It's called Connection. Hopefully it'll be on a forthcoming album. I have no idea when her next album is, but it's a lovely song, Connection by Amy Goddard. On to songs you can listen to and albums you can buy. Martin Simpson has a new album out, Sky Dancers. This will be out in April, and it's a great collection of new and old songs. So there are various live songs from his back catalogue, which is extensive, to put it mildly. I played Buckets of Rain earlier today, and there are plenty of new songs as well, so well worth a listen later this year. Shed 7 are back. They were big in the 90s, in the 1990s. They have a new album out, A Matter of Time, and their new single, Let's Go Dancing, starts off slowly and it bursts into life, and it's a cracker of a song. Tommy Keys from Ireland has been releasing an album a year. Each album is packaged marvelously, to put it mildly. His next album will be The Key of Blue, and it's out in March. The lead single, This Is the Song We Were Singing, will be out on the 22nd of February, and it's another cracker. So I'm looking forward to that album. His albums normally contain 15 to 17 tracks, lots of value, lots of variety. There's a lot of power pop coming out of America at the moment. Sometimes the bands have reunited after 20 years, all sorts of variety. So On the Runway from Atlanta in America, they just released Tell Yourself It's Pretty, and I played Bring Yourself Down. And a lot of melodic pop rock, some up tempo, some a little slower, but all of it great fun. Try and get this one right, the Schmoozenbergs. Now I've got the album here, so there we go. This is the album. If I get it right, there we go. The Schmoozenbergs are from Bristol, and they have the new album Mouse, and it's full of lively instrumentals. So 2 guitars, violin, and double bass, and lots of bouncing rhythm, irresistible melody, and playful improvisation. And it's a load of fun. And Rachel Sage, this album came out last year. There we go, something like that. You can buy, you can get a digital download on Bandcamp, but you can also buy the CD. And this one, boy, is it special. So you've got 2 albums. One is the album itself, and then there's also a CD of remixes. And then, well, lots of people will do booklets, but what Rachel has done is a series of postcards, and it might even come out. There we go. So each postcard has the lyrics for one of the songs. Even better, get it the right way up. There we go. So
that's cute.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
that
lovely.
lovely? So there's loads of cards for the songs in there. And Rachel writes great songs. We had her on this show a year or so ago. So Rachel Sage, the album is The Other Side, plenty of stuff on there, and you can go off to Bandcamp, listen to it. And finally, Richard Trethaway has a new album out, Two Halves. It'll be released on the 15th of March, and he plays traditional type music. Queen of the Cornish Rhine is the one I played, and I'll post the Bandcamp link. And there's a video to it, but there's also a behind the scenes, so you can go off and find out how these marvelous videos are made and the fun they have. And those are your new releases this week.
Gavin, thank you very much. We're going to have to dash off now because we've got the radio show starting in a few minutes. Sue, see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys. Love to see you all.
And we'll see you tomorrow. So I'm now going to go offline.
Right.